And we're live.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hopefully, there will be people in the. Well, no one yet.
Hang on, I'm going to try and share this.
All right.
I'm not sure what I'm doing, but I'll give it a go.
Nice.
Let's see. There's a way of doing it. As you can tell, I've got no phone today. It's just, I'm so lost without it. It's just my Facebook that I'm going through now. So it's a bit different for me.
We got one person. We're now. Where was in the chat? Can you please say hello so know who you are?
Isn't it funny how you take your phone for granted and then you get lost? You're lost without it.
You broke your phone?
I haven't charged it, and when I went to charge it, it's done some weird stuff. So I don't know if my phone's battery is going or I don't know.
So is it an iPhone?
No, it's a Samsung.
Okay. Then you should be able to get a new battery for it. iPhones, once the battery goes kaput, you got to get a new phone.
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, it's Rita. She's in. That's my wife. Another person. Oh, now there's 2 people. Oh, William.
Hi, William.
William.
Hey.
So today we're talking to Josh from Wisconsin, from where I live.
Hi, everyone.
Where was it in the chat? There's like 4 people now. I'm gonna cut counting it out until whenever. So
I'm
Josh,
getting feedback because I've got this other page going, so I'm gonna have to try and stop it.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. So Josh, you said earlier to me that you were a paranormal investigator to start out with before you did cryptid.
Yeah. Also, I'm the host of Lost in the Rabbit Hole. I mean, it stems from that.
Yeah.
I used to be a paranormal investigator, actually, for a company called IPI. I actually went over to Illinois. Did a lot of work in Galena. Very fun town to investigate if you get a chance. Absolutely check out Galena. So much history. It's a beautiful little town. Nothing like Chicago.
I can imagine. I've been to Chicago a few times.
I want to go.
A lot of history from the Civil War there.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. Well, Abraham Lincoln's from Illinois.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, in Galena is like where they would have their little war chats and like where they'd get together in the library. I actually got to investigate the library. It's really fun.
Really? Wow. I'll have to go. You'll have to take me.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm more interested about this road, which is not too far from where you guys live.
Oh, the Beast of Bray Road.
Yep.
Those who aren't familiar, it's our little state cryptid is a werewolf, actually, not Bigfoot. Or
have you ever been?
Dogman.
Have you been and had a look, or?
We've went through the little town that's nearby, but we couldn't find it. But this was like way back, like in high school.
Yeah.
It was before cell phones, and like we had MapQuest that we were going off of. So the older generation remembers that. You're having to print them out, yeah.
I'm sure you can cook. Oh, hey, Noreen.
Hi, Noreen. We're going to have to send you up there, and you two have to do a trip up there and just spend the day and see what happens.
Yeah, I've been trying to figure out the time to do it too, and
when it's
how to
warmer.
do it.
Yeah.
Take a pork chop or something with you in case you two encounter something like it. Then you can throw the chop, say fetch, and then run in the opposite direction.
Right?
See, the last I heard about that, Josh Gates went over there and was investigating it, and they said it was like some kind of weird mixed breed of bobcat, I think it was. That was making the sound, and the color of it was like black and like tan. So it was really weird.
There was that I forget her name. She passed away 3 years ago now. She's really the one that brought this all of attention to our state. She was a news reporter who covered a story, but then she started going around and hearing more and more and more, and she totally was like, well, I'm done being a news reporter, I'm going to go into cryptozoology, and she's wrote tons of books up on it, and really kind of the mother of the dog man.
There must be something in it, though, if she's done that and she's given up a lucrative career to do that.
Right. And I mean, there's a lot of native stories about him, too.
Yeah. You've got to get down there. When the weather gives and you've got some great weather and there's not much going on, I think you two should get together and go up there and just hang out and see. You never know.
Yeah. The problem with investigating the area, though, is that it's all farmland.
Yeah.
And they are way over all this.
Just you might meet a nice farmer that says, hey guys, come on here, but keep the
Yeah, we also live in a concealed carry state.
They might do. You might have to go and get him some beers or something to say thanks, but
right.
Just you never know.
But wasn't it a farmer that said it came on his land and tore up some of his property or something like that was right near there?
Yeah, there's even a story, if I remember, about the police dogs getting all killed in the 70s.
Whoa.
The ones that were outdoors in their kennels.
Wow.
But if I also remember, there's that was cult activity there too, back in the day. So.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe some of the occultists might have conjured something that resulted in this creature, whatever it is, running amok and doing what it's doing?
No. Yeah. I actually think there's something, probably. I mean, there's a lot of native lore about it too. And then you have the Vikings talking about them. You guys even, in England, weren't you at one point putting people to death for being werewolves?
We've got...
I mean, there's got to be some. And the other, one that's really mind-boggling is the Greeks talk about the werewolves being in the Olympics with them, showing up to compete with them.
Yeah. Weird.
Yeah. Well, there have been sightings of dog-like creatures over here. And the latest, the one that they're calling it Bigfoot. I'm not calling it Bigfoot because it was seen by a truck driver on a busy highway, and it was sort of crouched down, and he said it looked like a grey monkey because he saw it from behind. A grey monkey.
Wow.
Million. So a grey monkey. Oh, could that be more wolf-like? Could it be Dogman? But the thing stood up and walked into some brush, and he lost sight of it. But he didn't see. He just saw part of it, and it was sort of hunched over. He said it walked like a monkey.
Right? It usually is Dogman that they see by the roadsides, never Sasquatch or Bigfoot. Speaking of which, are you guys going to check out that Sunset Sasquatch movie?
Oh, yeah, I saw the preview for that. I posted it on my page the day I saw a preview for it. I'm like, I don't know. It looks kind of weird. And it's supposed to be like a comedy, I guess everybody's saying now?
Yeah. I'm thinking, I don't know. It's way out there.
I was kind
of hoping it does a Rotten Tomato.
Yeah. I was hoping they would kind of do more of a maybe not a documentary type of thing, but sort of that kind of way of doing, that movie would have been nice, stay in a family of Sasquatch, family. Would have been
Right.
cool.
And if you're gonna, a good found footage Sasquatch movie would be good too.
Mm.
Well, I know someone that's out filming with some people and they're out investigating, looking at Sasquatch over here in the UK. I can't say any more than that. I know it's a documentary that's going to be coming out
Oh, sweet.
on either the Discovery Channel, it might be coming out there. So there's, and they're filming
hey,
in the
Wayne.
UK. Hi, Wayne. They're filming out in the UK, so that's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
That's better. But I have a friend, my partner, sent me a link of a Sasquatch movie called Bigfoot and Me, and it is a bit naughty. It's a movie. So I didn't bother clicking on it. But there's a lot of Sasquatch and Bigfoot and Dogman movies, and I'm getting to the stage where we're going to see some proper, like yourself, proper credible stuff. It
Hey,
used to
now
be in
there's
the
Goat Man.
70s and 80s. They used to in the early, but now it's just like gone by the wayside. We need to. I think the cryptid community need to do more, and they need to, pardon the pun, they need to pull their finger out of their ass and get something done, because nobody's doing it, and it's a shame, because it's all gonna die a death. And
Nikki.
Have you heard that the new one about El Chupacabra?
Mm-mm.
It's that it's the, I think this is how you say it. It's the Tasmanian tigers or thylacines.
The thylacine, yeah.
It recently came out that there was 2 dudes from like Australia that were supposed to bring some here,
All right.
and they lost them in Mexico.
Really?
They got loose on them, and they're just like, well, shit. And because it was like the 70s, and they're like, well, we didn't know, and they just kind of just made it disappear in their paperwork. And now they're coming out, and it just kind of makes sense, because that is the same area. And if you think about them, they kind of look like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that you say that.
There's more investigations into finding more what do you call it, like little communities of thylacine out in Tasmania. They are making more concentrated efforts, and that I think they're trying to count.
We need to come to Mexico and get them.
I think those ones in Mexico have all got mange. We want nice ones.
Right.
But yeah, I mean
it's possible
great.
too. If you look at Cuba right now, they're having a problem with hippos.
Oh, wow.
Hippos?
Yeah.
What's
for
going
real.
on?
Like, you can look up into their news. It's from the drug lords were bringing in hippos as pets. And then it was what is his name? El Chapo, I think it was. The really big one that they made a documentary about was the one doing this. And when he got arrested, they just kind of let him go. And they're like, yeah, they're an invasive species now. There's like a real problem their fish and wildlife are having. They're destroying everything, and there's no natural enemy. And I don't know. I wouldn't try to shoot a hippo. Like humans, they
are vicious as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's been many deaths. Wherever they're naturally from, we go out on boats on the rivers, and they tip over river boats.
Yeah. I think they're from Africa originally.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, it's crazy, isn't it? Imagine it. I'm excited to the fact that the thylacine's on its way back after being, well, it couldn't have been extinct. There must have been a couple of them running around somewhere that we just don't know about. And if they can do that, why can't Sasquatch? Why can't Dogman? Why can't all the others? It leaves it wide open. I don't think there's enough of us out there fully investigating and putting some real research into it.
Yeah,
I think we need to do it seriously.
I do have some friends that there's episodes coming out with them soon. he actually has a couple documentaries out there. He's a local guy. Well, Wisconsin guy.
Yeah.
I say local because we're tiny. Yeah. But anyways, I think a lot of people think that it's some dumb ape that they're looking for, and no, we
No.
are the dumb apes.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, agree. Definitely agree. Definitely agree. Oh, I look forward to these documentaries because I need to see some more. I need to,
Another common thing that I've been coming across with the people who research this that are very serious about it is that
Mhm.
they will not disclose their locations because they've almost have made a bond with them.
Yep.
To
I
where
think
they're like,
I think
yeah,
as well.
I know how we are.
Mhm.
You don't want idiots going up there with guns.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's not even the problem here. It's idiots going up there, getting drunk, destroying the woods, having fires,
Yeah.
Yeah, like
throwing
that.
plastic
Those kids
everywhere.
that blew himself up.
It's
You
all right
just
when you
walk through the woods after hunting season here, and you'll feel
Mhm.
pretty gross.
it's like Ron Moorhead when he was in California and he recorded and he found that spot and recorded the Sierra Sounds. And it was their hunting lodge initially. And they kept going back and getting more and seeing more. And they all kept that location very, very quiet because it wasn't just the odd Sasquatch that was coming up there. They were getting families, and they were also seeing the lights in through the trees before the Sasquatch appeared.
Mm.
They were recording all of that, and what he recorded was groundbreaking. And can you imagine if they had revealed where that was? The carnage that would have ensued, and we would never have learnt as much as we have learnt through his recordings because of public going there and running amok, basically. So I don't blame people for keeping
Well, I
their.
don't either. I honestly think that all these creatures that their people have been investigating or even heard of should be protected at all costs.
Yeah, yeah. I've got a
I mean,
question for you. Do you
yeah.
think the Dogman thing? Do you think? Now I'm getting into conspiracy here.
Mm.
Do you think that this is a government cover-up where there was a little bit of experimentation, and they were using these? I'm not going to call them creatures. I'm going to call them beings,
Mhm.
and they were using these beings in warfare. Because I keep hearing this, keeps coming back time and time and time again. The Nazis were one, the American government another. Do you think that this?
When did we have Operation Werewolf? That one's new to me.
Well, the Nazis did it apparently in World War II, one.
They're getting involved with the occult and
Rob
Yeah.
Zombie has the SS Werewolf Women movie.
but he could be nearer to the truth than you realise.
Yeah.
Not so much werewolf women, but the werewolves. Full stop.
Oh, they were.
Well,
They
that's
were all
been-
women, but they were all SS Nazi officers in the movie.
Well, then again, you're going back on assuming that Dogman is the same as werewolf, you know. And how would you be to even able to tell? I mean, most of the sightings of a werewolf were like brief sightings to begin with, and you never really see him change, you know.
I don't think Dogman does change. I think he is just a werewolf. Full stop.
Yeah.
I think that is it. What you see is what you get. There's no man behind that, underneath that hairiness. It's just proper Dogman.
I don't know.
No changing back when the full moon goes. None of that Hollywood stuff.
I don't know. I've talked to I've a lot of Native friends that I've spoken to about this, and they take this very seriously.
Yeah.
One that I did an interview with talks about how each tribe actually has a certain hunter that they raise up.
Wow.
And
They raise up?
That's raising to take care of these problems, and that's all that he knows about it because he's not full-blooded, and the elders won't talk to
Yeah.
anything else.
Because there's that word that they don't like using, isn't it? Wendigo.
That is honestly something completely different
They don't even like
than
using
what
that
we
word.
perceive that to be.
Yeah.
They don't like using any words properly. They say it's bad medicine.
Yeah. And they know more than us.
Yeah.
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 I've got a pictograph that I picked up when I was in Oregon. And this pictograph was taken from some caves that had these cave drawings in from a long time ago. And clearly drawn in, I don't know, some kind of red material. There was pictures of them as people, and then standing next to them was a Sasquatch. And I looked at that and I said, how old is this picture? This pictograph is like hundreds of years old. It's like, whoa. And there's a
Yeah.
Sasquatch standing there with them. It's like, that blew me away. So they know more. They do know more than they let on. And then even when you talk to them about the Thunderbird, they're very cagey about that as well, because it had been seen in recent years, the Thunderbird over, I think it was New York. That was unheard of at the time. But anyway, it's they go very, very quiet and don't want to discuss anything. But
I mean, yeah, it's very possible. I mean, if you go over into Africa, I forget how you say that, but they have the brontosaurus in the Amazon too,
yeah,
and there's all sorts of stories about these extinct animals everywhere where it's just little pockets to them, and it's like so forested, like you don't want to go there alone.
would you go back into paranormal, or do you cross over the both from cryptid to paranormal, or is it out of you now, paranormal, or is it still in your blood?
I'm in the wheelhouse of everything.
Well, he's going back into paranormal because if I get a chance to go to Waverly Hills before I come to the UK, I'm taking them. So
Good. What's the most frightening experience you've had, Josh?
Frightening experience.
Mhm.
There was one where I was in the woods with my grandfather, and it's just like kind of like one of the really young childhood memories, and like I really freaked out, and he got really freaked out, and we like left in a hurry. I've talked to some people from MUFON about it. I've talked to some cryptozoologists about it. They all think I have some like suppressed memory about that.
Wow.
What do you know what you got freaked out about?
Um, no, I just remember being with him and just being like in a like panicked, and then him being panicked, and he was somebody who was like, yeah, he didn't, yeah, and he was a extreme outdoorsman, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
massive hunter, huge in the NRA, like too. So like it freaked him out, and he probably was armed at the time, but we left the woods in a hurry.
Do you think it was the precursor to something showing itself?
Um,
Because they say you can feel it before it actually you see it.
yeah, it could have been.
Yeah.
He also saw uh scar-shaped UFOs frequently,
Wow.
Wow.
so I almost wonder if that has something to do with it.
It could have been.
I don't know.
Don't know. You need
You
to
know,
go back and find out.
well, it's like
He
those
passed
things
away
where,
when I was a child,
yeah.
a few years on, so I don't, I didn't have really no one to talk to like that way.
Yeah.
But my mother said she's seen him with him before too. So
Oh wow.
I'm sure I've probably seen them. I remember because I grew up in Wausau, so and that's still in Wisconsin. But we had like 200 acres of woods in our backyard, and I'm surprised that I haven't died when I was younger by hitting trees with sticks and climbing trees to 100 feet tall.
Yeah.
And we saw Black Hawk helicopters go overhead a lot of times.
Yeah, we get a lot of military stuff around here. Like on the way home, there was a Hercules going over.
are you
We
by
got.
any base though?
I'm in between about four of them, So
Oh,
we've
well,
got, I
that-
know.
Is there anything like that? They're always playing with the helicopters because we pay for the gas, so why not just drive it everywhere?
So I've got two big American air bases close to me. Then I've got a couple of English air bases. One of the air bases, I found out a big secret.
Right.
So we had a like for the 70s and 80s, we had all these women protesting Greenpeace and all that sort of thing, anti-bomb and all this sort of thing, in a place called Sellafield, and they were lobbying against nuclear missiles. But the nuclear missiles were never ever kept there. They were kept literally 20 minutes down the road from where I live now. And every now and again, they'd send in a dummy truck to make it look like they're going in and out of there with these missiles, and there wasn't. They're all up here where I live.
Wow.
So, yeah, I've been living up here with nuclear warheads, and now they've disbanded that air base and built houses on. So it's gone from there now, thank God, because we would be a target otherwise up here. I wouldn't survive. Yeah.
Wow,
But
that's
there you go.
terrifying. A little fun fact: if anybody's in golf and knows Wisconsin, then we have the PGA actually near us. That was built. That whole course was an old military base that was working on drones at the time, which is crazy. Probably in the 60s they were. I have family friends that pulled out big remote controlled airplanes out of the water right next door of it in the 80s. Yeah. So, yeah, they were already working with them back then.
This drone stuff is just all old technology, isn't it? It's very old technology. It's like the cloaking, the planes that cloak. They're working on that now, aren't they?
Yeah.
And
it's
not
almost makes you wonder too, how old is this technology? Bring up ancient history, the Norse mythology. A lot of the gods had birds that followed them. Was that a passe for a robot?
Yeah.
I mean, one of them. Odin's spear was his special thing was could hit you, but he didn't have to throw it. So it was is that dude just carrying a gun?
Roger says, I've seen something similar to a Bigfoot back in early 70s in our 40 acres in Michigan. I was 9 years old with my grandfather and dad.
Wow.
That's awesome.
I'd love to see. Honestly, I really, really would love to see. I've seen the footprints. I've seen the handprints. I've seen the bum prints, the buttock prints where Bigfoot has sat down and they've taken casts and stuff. I've seen all of that, but I just need to see the thing itself.
Okay.
And all I can tell you is Bigfoot has a big bum.
Imagine.
Oh dear. So, what about because I know that you've got a son. Do you talk about all this sort of thing, about the cryptids with your son? Do you get him involved with these different creatures? Hi, Sarah.
Oh, with my kids?
Yeah.
There's pictures of us at the Bigfoot convention here. And have you ever went, Eric?
No, I've never been to one.
It's in Marinette.
Oh, okay.
Right on the border
of
Michigan, and it's small, it's fun. If you're familiar with Chad Lewis, he spoke there.
Yeah.
A bunch of different authors come, a bunch of stuff you can get to, but you kind of, I don't know, can find most of it on Amazon.
Well, have you ever gone out looking for prints and stuff?
Yeah, I grew up in Ada, so if you know where that is at all, it's between. Do you know where Howard's Grove is?
Yeah.
Okay, that's actually where I went to high school because Ada's so small we don't have
wow.
a.
Okay.
It's between like Howard's Grove and Keel. Between there, it's real tiny farming community in woods. So
Bigfoot country.
yeah, I mean that we also used to like look for UFOs always stuff, and while we were partying, I mean. I also
So
grew up like when I was a teenager. It was kind of like the goth era, so like we used to use Ouija boards. Like that was just the thing that we constantly did. And they were always on us. I mean, they kind of grew up. My mom was always a little witchy too, so I kind of grew up with this way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what does your wife think about it all? Is she into it as well?
Yeah.
Or it's
She's
like a
very
family,
witchy.
like a family affair sort of
She
thing.
is what I call my producer. She does all the graphics and to like everything that goes in the Lost Room rabbit hole. I just do the interview.
That's really good.
So yeah.
No, it's really good that it's sort of like everyone's involved at home. Because like here, trying to get my other half involved, it's like, do I have to? Is it the same for you, Eric?
Well,
Does Rita sort of?
no, she wants to do some of the stuff that I do, but not all of it. You know, it's like she
Yeah.
doesn't want to be scared when she goes to investigate when we come over, and I don't know how else she could get around anyway. So
She'll be fine. She'll be just fine. So what about the UFO thing? I mean, do you think there are more sightings of these unidentified objects as we're going into 2024? Do you think these sightings are becoming more prominent, or are they getting less?
So. I mean, the more people I meet, it seems like everybody has seen them.
yeah,
Everybody's had an experience of some sort. That's why I'm kind of like involved in everything, because I started digging and then boom.
Yeah.
On the rabbit hole, like you say.
Yeah.
I have been listening to some of these UFO sightings, and I'll be totally honest with you. I think some of these people really deserve a slap.
Mm.
Because they need some sense knocking into them, because when you actually sit and listen to them, you think, you really want to say to them, have you heard yourself what you're saying? And come on, think about this rationally.
I've interviewed a lot of people, and I got to say, about most people I've interviewed, usually if I don't believe your interview, like I've probably just stopped the episode right there. Like,
yeah.
I don't know if I should say this because it's a fan, but I had somebody talk to me about how they were into like blood drinking, and
God.
I was wrong about my episode with vampires, and like she started talking about like how her and her lesbian friends like drink each other's blood, and I was just like, yo, I'm having camera problems. I'm sorry. Later.
Yeah. Because like, as much as you want to be nice to these people, and
like, do you hear yourself? She actually was like, yeah, one of us actually is HIV, and I was all like, well, I don't.
No.
I just know I had you. Come on, you told me you were a witch.
Yeah. But like some of these people, you really want to take them by the scruff and shake them and say, come on, get a grip. Come on.
And some of them you just kind of want to be like hugged, honestly. A lot of the people that I've interviewed with UFOs, it's the same message. It's you're fucking up your planet. You need to fix it, or you're going to be like us, wandering aimlessly looking for a new home, which you don't find.
I've heard of some of these encounters with alien have been actually quite scary. They're not just the nice, we come to give a message and protect you and help you, but some of them have been quite scary.
Yeah, and I honestly blame,
I'm hearing that's on the rise.
I blame the U.S. government. Are you familiar with MyLabs?
I am. I've heard of it before.
What is MyLabs?
That's what I think a lot of that's going on.
Yeah.
What is it?
Basically our U.S. government parading around doing what they want to do, stealing resources. Then under guise of UFOs, and when somebody gets too close, they usually end up dead or just the rest of their life feeling like they're crazy. But it's not exactly that it's not UFO technology. sometimes there really is like aliens involved.
Hmm.
It gets really, really dark. It's
Do you
way different. It's down there in the rabbit hole.
Do you
And
think? Do you think it's a world thing, not just Americans though? Because
oh yeah, it's
uh,
definitely a real thing.
it's a world
I'd just
order
say,
thing.
yeah,
Because isn't there this secret out at one of the airports with this new world order and all the?
yeah.
Isn't
Texas,
is it Texas? I wasn't sure which one it
Denver,
was.
if I'm correct, right? Denver.
I think so.
Yeah, millions of dollars over budget to make this place. There's satanic shit everywhere. There's jokes about reptilians openly.
Wow.
And secret tunnels.
People
as
go there
well,
and you
isn't
can
there?
hear stuff underground. I've been to a bunch of airports and I've never heard anything underground.
Wow.
Bunch of Freemasonry too wrapped in it, and a lot of Freemasonry art too.
So I think that it's not just the American government. I think it's the big
Oh, yeah, it's-
superpowers. It's China. It's Russia, and maybe even Japan have had some of this as well. You know, because they're very
Japan, there's a
secretive.
lot of stuff going on in Japan as well. I mean, I want to go check out that forest where people go and kill themselves.
Yeah.
Oh no!
A lot of people are like, Josh, you're not mentally. No, dude. No,
I
I
said
want
the
to
same
go.
thing.
I wear a bunch of GoPros. You'll be fine.
In fact, I was talking to Irene and her friend that she does her Spooky Japan podcast with.
Yeah.
And I said the same thing. I want to go to that part of the suicide. Apparently, it's not the whole forest, it's just one little part of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
If you want to see that kind of gory stuff, why don't you go to one of the, the forensics that take the cadavers and they leave them in varying
Yeah,
stages,
the
or
body farm.
the body farms? Yeah, why don't you go
No,
there?
it's supposed to be so haunted there, though.
Yeah.
It'd be
They're like-
haunted in a body
That
farm.
they literally give you the push to kill yourself.
Really?
It's literally, there's a sign up saying if you feel sad, please just turn around.
Really?
And you can go so at such and such address and we will help you. Don't go in the woods that the government's put up there.
Wow.
Maybe they're just fed up with clearing bodies.
Wow.
They have to. They've had to for over a century now. They go in every spring and they take out dozens
Wow.
of teenagers. It's really sad. And businessmen is nuts. All
But you've got that in
sorts of different
America.
ages.
You've got that in America with the Golden Gate Bridge where all the suicides happen there. Can you imagine how many they fish out of the water each time? There's a lot of suicides. If these aliens come over to England and they've not come through the appropriate channels, they're going to get put on a plane to Rwanda now. They're going to get
Different
shipped
type
off.
of alien.
And to America, we'll take them.
Oh dear, that's quite sad.
State.
That is quite sad.
Mm.
If you was to meet an alien for the first time, what would your first words would be? What would they be to it, do you think? Would you...
It really depends. What alien are we talking? Are we talking about
A nice one.
Are we talking about a giant spider?
A nice,
Yeah, like
an-
if in
a
that
nice
one movie, I
grey.
would have flipped the fuck out if a giant spider was on. I would have been like, "Come see the meat the frying pan."
No, like a nice grey. It just crash landed in your back garden, and he stepped out of his ship, his aliens or spacecraft, and he looked at you with those big sad eyes. What would you say to him?
I would probably be fine. Like, you ever see American Dad? I'd definitely let it live in my attic.
Mm.
I'd apologise to it.
I said, take me to your leader.
Would you want to go though? That's the question.
Yeah, I want to go.
I might try and probe you along the way.
As long as you keep it out of my butt, I don't care.
Oh dear. So What are your plans this year? Are you planning to get out and do some paranormal or cryptid or
I
UFO?
honestly want to probably. I've been thinking about starting up another like ghost hunting group. Um,
That'd be cool.
I've for everybody watching that knows me knows I have screwed up my back. That's why I've been able to come back and be on Dark Mirror every week. And I am awaiting surgery, and then after surgery, I have like a recovery time of 12 weeks. So
Right.
yeah, so my summer is gonna be kind of boring, I think, but I'm hoping I'll heal.
You're just as bad as Dan.
Yeah.
Dan's always doing things to himself. He screwed up his ribs. He's cracked them. Hopefully, he's at the hospital
Yeah.
getting them seen to. So he fell down the stairs.
Mine's like I'm so upset about. I was recently got back into like MMA with my son. I was going to the gym like three classes a day and
Wow.
working, and then I screwed up my back at work,
Oh,
and
wow.
like
Oh,
yeah,
that's not good. That's not good. Wow.
So, yeah, that's been a whole thing in itself.
Yeah. Well, get your back sorted.
Mm.
Get yourself back out there again. But your health is more important than anything, and your family. So
Yeah.
they have to come first. But I'd love to take my sons out ghost. I think I took my middle son ghost hunting with me once, and he just saw it as a free for all to run around and scare people, jump out at them in the dark. You
Yeah,
know.
that sounds very familiar.
But I mean, they loved him for it, and even his partner that he had with him, he impressed Brian Cano. I can't pronounce his name.
Mm.
He said, "Oh, you look like Tango from GHI." He said, "Maybe you should act as one of his body doubles and make a bit of money, you know." But yeah, they spent all night just scaring people, which is quite funny. Watch Sigourney Weaver. Oh yes.
Yeah.
You know what, William? Sigourney Weaver, when she shaved her head and did what she did in Aliens 3, I just thought she was just double R, amazing woman. You know, I wanted to be just like her.
And even he's 30.
You can always remember, no matter how big and bad the alien is, if you have a forklift, you're good.
Yeah.
Because wasn't that what that robot was? It was just their like.
Yeah,
Forklift.
well,
forklift.
yeah, it was pretty much like a forklift, but it was like a robot forklift or whatever
Yeah.
that shit was, like a walking one, which is a cool idea. I think that'd be a great idea especially for out in outer space if you have to lift heavy stuff.
They got them already. The military use them. They're things you strap on that you can pick up way more stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
You know what they're exoskeletons? They're called.
Yeah. Do they actually have them? It's not just a Hollywood thing.
Oh, they actually.
There's actually like some companies I think like trucking companies that are using them now.
Yeah.
Oh, really? So you physically climb inside it and
No, it's almost like a shirt you put on, and then it's got like gears, and it's like yep,
That's cool.
wow,
and there's
that's
hydraulics in it.
That's impressive.
It's not as cool as the big robot, but it's kind of similar idea.
Yeah, I just I think about the one in that film with the South African guy. Is it 28? Not 28 days later. They're based in South Africa, and the aliens crash land, and then they eat cat food.
When you say eating cat food, I think of Mad Max right away.
Yeah.
Amazon is full of these useless people.
Mhm.
Oh dear. Yeah, no, I wish my kids would behave. One of them has no intentions to go out ghost hunting or cryptid hunting or anything like that. But the other one did it because the boyfriend wanted to go, so he went along, and then they ended up just scaring people all night. So It's quite
TV.
funny. But, yeah.
I'd probably end up doing some of that.
You want to scare people?
Yeah, eventually. Just especially if nothing's going on, I'd be doing that.
Dogs.
Dog food.
District 9.
That's
That's the one.
District. Okay.
I was thinking of that movie when you said that, and like, what's the name of that
I didn't
movie?
realize it was South Africa. It gets all
Yeah, I think it
mutated.
was
And
a
they, like, tell his
warlord
wife
that-
that he's.
Watch the film.
Yeah.
Watch the film. We watch it. It's based in South African township, but they put the exoskeleton thing on, and the guy gets in it and battles with the army. It's
Yeah, I
quite-
remember that, and I remember like the warlord wanted to eat the alien parts to get its power or whatever, or its knowledge. Like, really, you're weird. Okay,
Dreamcatcher was a good one.
yeah.
yeah. They have one brain between 4 people. Who's got one brain? Amazon. Oh, Amazon. Oh, God. William.
That's not an eye, William. That's not an eye.
I gotta say, talking about cats though, that cat in the first Alien films was survived too. She's way better than the Space Marines.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm off to do a Bigfoot bash on Sunday. And I'm going to meet Ronnie LeBlanc and Renee Holland and somebody called RPG. Who's RPG? I don't even know who RPG is. So it's going to be interesting. But I'm there as well to get some information from one of he's turning out to be a really good friend called Jonathan Downs. He's not just a cryptozoologist. I would call him a conservationist, and I was going to say an exhibitionist. He's not an exhibitionist. He's one of these guys that's been out on expeditions and stuff all over the world. So it's nice to hear stories and get some intel from those people and use it in your own research. Because I'm doing some big research. It's been going on 4 months, and I plan to go out in the next few weeks to start my very first expedition, if you like, into the forests over here. Not quite ready. I've just got to get some equipment, some clothing, gaiters, that sort of thing. Because we have one poisonous snake, which is an adder, and it's not likely to bite us, but I want to be prepared just in case, you know.
Right.
So what are your advice for anyone that's starting out? We'll go with paranormal first. What would your advice be for them, Josh?
Do your own thing. Don't go to one of them big places that charges you like a couple $100 to go on an investigation. Just do some research, figure out what's haunted in your local town and check it out. If you can't go at a good time, don't trespass. Go ask permission. I've learned the hard way a couple times that.
What happened? Did you get caught or?
Oh, yeah. The sheriffs came. They were like, we were actually checking out a cemetery in Galena. Well, not Galena, Glambela. If you're familiar. I don't know why I said Galena. I was thinking earlier. But yeah, Glambela. And Travel Channel had a whole thing, so there's tons of people who went there. And I told the police that, and they're like, oh, well, we're giving you a warning because of that. Don't come unless it's time.
Oh. So if you go to a graveyard over here at night, they don't bother.
It's kind of like a park too. It's one of the first graveyards in Wisconsin, so it's kind of like
And what about in the way of cryptids? If somebody was first starting out, going out into the forest looking for cryptids, what your advice would you give them for that?
Find somebody who's already had experience.
Okay.
That's about it. This is like a whole another level of like like crypto hunting is way harder than ghost hunting.
Is it?
Yeah, well, you gotta think like when you're investigating, you're like in a building, you're not dealing with the climate, you're not
Yeah.
out in the element.
Yeah.
Especially with Sasquatch, it's usually way out there in the woods. I feel like everybody that I've talked to has been deep forest.
Do you think that if they have an encounter with Sasquatch, that's way more overwhelming than an encounter with a spirit?
I honestly think it depends on intent. Your intent, I think, it's gonna play off its intent. I honestly do think they're very intelligent creatures, probably far more than us. I think they probably use telepathy of some sort, and they
Yeah.
can probably know what you're thinking, and they'll know that you're armed in their woods before there's even a hint of them there.
Yeah.
And usually, I don't think they're alone either. I think they're in groups.
Yeah. And what about people going out sky watching for the first time? What advice would you give them?
Going on what?
Looking for
UFO?
UFOs.
I would say do a CE5.
A what?
The CE5. The whole. I think we talked about this once before. It's like a huge thing here. Stephen Greer started it.
What is it?
It's you use lights, laser lights to
okay.
sing them in.
Yeah. Like
And
a green one or a red one,
tons
wasn't it?
and tons and tons of way more evidence.
Oh, really?
They have
Yeah, I
actual
didn't
pictures
know
of
that.
beings that came down.
Wow.
Yeah,
Just from
Green
using
laser light that they were,
lights.
yeah.
like pretty clear images. And it's either that whole group is lying about everything they've been doing in the past 54 years, or them are legit.
Wow.
So really, just go out, take some laser lights, use them.
Actually, it's just go on Facebook, look up CE5. It's going on. It's such a big phenomenon right now that your local state or country, I don't know how it works with England with what breaks up, or cities most likely will have a CE5.
Okay.
And it's usually it's a bunch of people get together with the intent of seeing this and being positive and like being upbeat and trying to call stuff in, and it works. And usually,
Have you done it?
I have been to one,
How
but it
was
was like online, so I didn't really feel I wasn't actually. They message me but I don't know. It's kind of hard kids to go out like when they always go at weird times.
Oh,
Yeah.
Maybe you need to start up a Wisconsin one alongside the paranormal.
Right. Like who can go out on a Wednesday? Like
well, especially since you have a kid and a wife when you got
right.
You got to sort that back out first.
Right.
Yeah. You got lots of jobs to do around the house. Don't think you can get out of them with a bad back.
Oh, she keeps me busy.
Oh dear. So yeah, this is a new thing, CE5. I'm going to look into that. I'm going to have a look at it, and we'll have to get you back on, Josh, to talk about
Right.
this.
We should even do one maybe like in the future. Try it. Go live.
Wasn't that one group just pointing at the moon, trying to reflect off the reflectors off the moon or something like that?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Were they trying to like reflect the laser light off the moon or something? And I know that's how I heard of the laser light thing. They were trying to like bounce it off the mirrors off the moon. That there's like certain.
No, they almost do it like what was that movie where all the people had to go to this one mountain because they were having, and then they were like using lights and music.
Close Encounters.
It's exactly like that.
Yeah.
Almost on a smaller scale.
Wow. Yeah, because they were using sound and Morse code kind of.
Yeah.
I might have to try that up here where I live in Cambridgeshire and see if it will work.
And I got one of
I
those
get the
high-powered.
military coming down to tell me off.
Yeah, probably. I know people are getting in trouble for flashing them on planes.
The
So
army just shows up at this house. What are you doing?
What are you doing? Do you know, I never forget the time we had a lot of very low flying military planes that were quite quick coming over my house. And I was standing in my son's bedroom and he hasn't got any net curtains. He's just got big curtains and they were open, just ajar by this much. Anyway, this plane had gone over and it was ever so noisy. And I thought, oh, that's a bit low for this time of night. And what the plane did was it went over the house, it banked and curved round and turned round.
Oh,
And
I can totally relate. When the Packers are doing good, the Blue Angels fly over and they always practice. And I swear they practice right over my fucking house every time.
Yeah, but as it turned, you could see into the bloody cockpit. Seriously, you could see the lights and I thought, are they taking the piss now? They're like, come on, it's 8 o'clock. It's time they packed it in, you know.
Right when I first moved here, when that happened, I was like, "Are we getting bombed?"
well, do you hear that too? Where the plane goes overhead, it goes it like whistles like a bomb dropping. We get that here.
It's the sonic boom that gets me. I always think that there's a bomb that's gone off. It's like, what's that noise? And it's the aeroplanes going. Then they go into what was it? The sonic boom is just like, it's just horrible. All the car alarms are going off, and it's like.
But you know how the bomb whistles on the TV movies? You know, where it's coming down and makes that loud whistling sound? That's what it sounds like going over our head over here.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. I wish that the military had sorted themselves out, you know. Well, these are the American guys.
We have this light that people have been seeing in my neighborhood, and we can't figure out what it is. It's been like
a circular
almost
light.
like.
Well, where are you in De Pere? What are you close to?
Taco Bell.
Good shot.
No, for real, like we only have one, and I'm like right by it. I'm in more eastern De Pere, right next to Quick Trip too. There's only oh no, there's two of them.
I think I drive past your house every weekend almost.
So this one light that you're seeing, is it a circular light? Is it
no? It's definitely like stadium lights.
Okay,
but it's never during the football season.
Yeah.
And I've seen other people talk about them too. Somebody says it was Anduzzi's, but I don't think Anduzzi's lights would reach to De Pere.
No, I don't think so either.
But it's just like that. Like they flicker back and forth.
Huh. I'll have to check that out when I'm in that area again.
It's always good to keep your eyes up and looking at the sky because
Yeah.
there are some weird and wonderful things happening just lately. So it is quite interesting. I've actually seen something. I used to smoke and I stood on my front doorstep having a cigarette and I looked up and there was this single solid white light, not moving, not pulsating, not flashing, not doing anything. It was just there. And I was staring at it. And I called my husband and said, come here, look, there's an UFO up there. And he come to the door, he went, oh yeah, and he went back in. And as soon as he shut the door and left me on the doorstep, this thing went, gone.
Wow.
Just like that.
This nuts was out there too. I made friends with a bunch of people who saw the Phoenix lights back in the 90s. That was wild.
I can imagine.
What are the Phoenix lights? For those that don't know in the chat.
All of Phoenix saw a UFO at the same time, and it was massive, and it was there for like a day.
Wow.
A day? Oh,
and
wow.
It was there for hours. The people I said that I met that saw it, said they saw it during the daytime all the way through the night.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they all have had a lot of crazy experiences since.
They banned those Chinese lanterns now
Yeah.
because of forest fires and
Yep.
wildfires that's happening. Because I've seen Chinese lanterns up in the sky, and it's completely different.
No,
can
this
tell
is
the
a giant
difference.
V.
Yeah.
And some of them, like one of my friends, in one of my interviews, if you jump back to it, he talks about seeing like they were close enough. They saw beings like in
Really?
the little circular pods on the
Oh,
V,
Wow!
and they were not human.
Yeah.
Wow!
And Hatman was attached to all this too, with most of them.
Well,
So
Really?
what's the? I don't know. I honestly have a feeling that was something in my lab.
Yeah.
Right. That's interesting to see that Tatman's attached to it somehow.
Best way to describe my lab too is basically that story is you believe that story about something crashed in Roswell and we made contact and we made arrangements and that's what's going on. It's a lot of people see soldiers and then a lot of people see dudes in soldier uniforms that are not human.
Wow.
I don't
That's
know what
like
to think about Roswell.
And that's also ties into like with Montauk and
Yeah. I don't know what to think about that, to be honest. I'm still sitting on the fence.
And as well.
Yeah.
I think something happened, but I don't know. It would. Well, the original pictures of it looked like a flying saucer, so that's all I can say about it.
I don't know. I feel like if you just look at our technology too, and now I feel like we're kind of running out of technology like everything just keeps reprocessing over and over and over. I mean, we got the microchip, we got internet. I'm not so sure with the microchip that it even came from us.
Yeah.
I think we're
Well-
going backwards in technology
Yeah.
because now it takes us forever to put a building up. And
Yeah.
we have it, we're all gone health and safety mad and all this sort of thing. Where in ancient civilizations, they build a pyramid and think nothing of it. I think when it comes to technology, I think we've lost it. I think we've gone backwards.
I think we lost our spiritual side completely.
Yeah.
Being in tune with the earth.
Oh, Skinwalker Ranch.
I love getting rich. So going back to
There's a lot of wild stuff there. There's the
Mhm.
people on TikTok that are like urging people to stay away. That they're saying that it's a CIA training facility
Oh, I
that they're
believe it.
doing. That's like where they're testing out the like tech, the like brain tech, like brainwave technology,
Mhm.
and that's why people are seeing what they're seeing.
I was told that he sold the ranch. That what's his name, Bigelow.
Oh,
Has he
really?
not sold it again? He sold it now?
Yeah,
He
I've
doesn't
heard
own
that
it
too.
anymore.
That it was sold recently again for whatever reason, which makes me wonder, kind of like, is there something? I
So,
feel
yeah.
like our government's way, way more involved with the occult and
These
UFOs than we can even possibly imagine. I'd imagine there's probably top level military teams that deal with these things that
Yeah, I'm
never
sure.
heard about.
I was told that the ranch next door, which is called Strawberry something Ranch, Strawberry Rose, Strawberry something Ranch,
Yeah,
you can go and book and stay there,
Yeah.
and it's more active than Skinwalker Ranch.
really.
Yeah,
That's what
I
I've been
saw that
told.
the other day. I was looking up the area on Google Maps, and apparently there's like a tour place there. that you
It's
can
right
go
next
to.
door.
Yeah, it's right next door.
You can
Huh.
stay there. And it's more active than Skinwalker Ranch itself.
Wow.
So you can
I'll
go
have to
there,
check that out.
stay there, and go and experience it for yourself and not actually stepping foot on Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily believing them guys on TikTok, but they're like pretty serious about it.
Wow.
Um,
Amazing.
there's that whole thing going on too. I don't know if guys know about it, but there's like these lawsuits with something going on with our embassies, where a bunch of people who worked at the embassies were hit with some sonar weapon from our military, and it's
Oh, I
caused
heard
like
about it.
brain
Yeah.
Oh,
tumors.
wow. That's
And that there was
crazy.
just randomly one day, like everybody heard a frequency that was so loud it made them like their tear ducts bleed, and they had to flee the area.
Ouch.
And they're saying that this is like the type of weaponry that is being tested and used at Skinwalker Ranch.
Wow.
These high frequency beams that
Okay, before Skinwalker Ranch became what it is today, it was owned before,
Mm-hmm.
and they had some native people staying there that spoke about the Skinwalkers that were there. This is hence the name Skinwalker Ranch. They were actually filmed and videoed on Skinwalker Ranch. Now that's all of a sudden disappeared. No one sees that footage anymore. And it's been buried. It's been buried, and the indigenous people have like been moved on. It's nothing to do with them anymore. It's all these new people that are now there investigating, do whatever. So I think there is more to Skinwalker Ranch, military-wise. They want to cover things up, but they also want to treat what I'm going to call them native people quite poorly.
Yeah.
Again, it's like we've gone full circle and we've gone backwards again.
You're right. Just like how we were getting fed all this stuff about UFOs from the government, and then they just came out and they said, "We have nothing. We don't know anything. There's no evidence."
Oh, right.
Yeah. I don't know. Right, we've gone past the hour, Eric. It's all your fault, and it's all
I'm
Josh's
good at
fault.
rambling.
But no, we love it. We love it. Will you come back on, Josh, and we'll talk some more?
Oh, no problem.
We'll get some dates out to you.
Cool. Yeah, we should definitely do something, Eric.
Yeah, we got to. And I gotta talk to you when we're down here. I want to ask you a question.
Yeah, and we're going to have to do a CE5 together on this channel on a Wednesday night, whatever that is. I'll have to look into this.
We'll figure it out.
We'll have to go in the garden and shine some lasers.
I pour a laser in my drawer. I just use this.
But yeah, when they've actually had like conventions of doing this, like Stephen Greer is when they got they like called beings to them.
Wow.
Okay. I'm gonna look into this.
I was like, whoa.
I'm gonna look into this. We'll get Dan
I'll send you
out.
some links to it.
Yeah, we're gonna get Dan out in my back garden with the lasers, and I'll be reporting on him.
Well, if people want to watch your show, Josh, how do they get a hold of you?
How do they get a hold of it? Anybody? Click one of the Lost Through the Rabbit Hole links. I have them up all over the place.
What's it called?
My show is Lost Through the Rabbit Hole. I don't have good lighting right now because I have the stars going, but yeah, Lost Through the Rabbit Hole.
And can I find it on Facebook?
Yeah, we're on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
I've just put it
Everywhere.
in the chat.
All the major ones.
Oh, it's been great having you, Josh. And we're going to get you back on.
Fun.
Yeah.
And seriously, we are going to do this CE5 thing. And we'll have you on when we do it as well. So
that'd be cool.
Awesome.
Maybe we can do it from both ends and link in together and see what we get.
There you go. I have to go live in Josh's backyard.
I definitely have to introduce you to Jay. You would love him. I haven't talked to him in a while, but that's our local Bigfoot guy. He has tons of documentaries on Amazon.
Oh, does he? I might have watched one. I'm in the middle of watching one at the minute. I mean, they're testing a load of hares. It's quite interesting. He put Velcro round a tree, and he got a shitload of hares. This guy. It's like Velcro. Bloody hell! I'd never think about that.
Like, he's got film. He's to the point where he's like trying to keep other people just away from it.
Is he?
Yeah. Like, I feel like he's like bonded, like soul melted with one. It's wild.
Well, I'm going over to Oregon, hopefully Mount St. Helens, to do a bit of squatching over there.
Cool.
So I need to do it over there to be able to understand how to do it here, or how not to do it here, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to getting into it a bit more thoroughly. So, yeah, me and Bigfoot are going to sit down and do tea together. Do tea. It's a nice thing. Oh dear. Right. We're going to call it a night because poor old Josh has got to get back to his family. Thank you very much for coming on, Josh, and thank you to everybody in the chat. We do appreciate you and your questions. And we will catch you next week, next Tuesday on the Things Networks at 7 o'clock.
Night.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.